Sharia is very beautiful. Unfortunately, the picture that you guys probably have is of what? What comes up in your mind when you hear Sharia? Suppression, stoning, violence, strict law, etc. So many different things, right? Now, I'm going to try to provide some feedback here, or some detail here, okay? Sharia, what does it mean? Linguistically, it means a path that leads to water. Linguistically, it means a path that leads to water, okay? Amongst other things. What it means is divine legislation. It's my personal set of laws, values, ethics, morals that I personally follow in my personal life. This is Sharia. Sharia is divine legislation, meaning it's the law from Almighty God. This is the guidance He's given us. Okay? Does it make sense? So I'm going to clarify more. Now, it's not only limited to Islam, meaning every faith tradition, every country or society has some type of a Sharia or a law system or a constitution. So, for example, when you look in the Jewish faith, they have something called the halakha. Okay? Now, of course, I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Halakha, right? And they eat kosher. Okay? Muslims have the equivalent. We have Sharia and we eat halal. Halal is somewhat, it just means permissible. Now again, it's a personal set of values and ethics and laws that I follow in my personal life. Now, unfortunately, when you hear Sharia, you hear about what was mentioned here, which is some capital punishments or some laws that are enacted by people that actually don't have any knowledge about it, okay? Now, as I mentioned, Sharia is like a law system. Now, within the Sharia, is there a criminal justice system? Yes, of course there is. There's a penal system, right? Just like our Constitution has it. Just like any society that's a structured, sane society, a functioning society, they're going to have guidelines and rules. Yes or no? Yeah. Of course they're going to have it. That's why they're flourishing in whatever they're doing. They have structure to an extent, depending on what country you go, right? So, okay, that's a few things about that. The other thing is, when we talk about Sharia, 95%, if not more, of the Sharia are things that you probably know about, but you didn't know is Sharia. So, for example, this is Sharia. For me to talk to you folks and to inform you about Islam, that's Sharia. Fasting in the month of Ramadan is Sharia. Taking care of my neighbors, whether they're Muslim or they're non-Muslim, that's Sharia. Going for pilgrimage, that's Sharia. Taking care of my elderly mother and my parents, that's Sharia. That's law. That's what God is telling me to do. Unfortunately, you don't hear about that because you see a different image, right? It's kind of like me telling you, imagine somebody, a foreigner or somebody wants to come to this country, right? And they're trying to study as much as they can about this country. And their only research is watching years and years of the Jerry Springer show. Let that sink in for a minute. And that is their only understanding of what America is all about. Do they have an accurate portrayal of what America is? Of course not.
Actually, yes.
I'll wait for somebody to say that. Now, there might be elements of it that are Americana, if you will, right? But that is not a correct understanding of America. There might be some similarity if every day you're bombarded by pictures of stoning and this, and whether they're they're actually happening or not, or Photoshop. You're getting an image of Islam that is not existent. Meaning, this is not. You know the Islam of ISIS and Al Qaeda, which is all this is all related Sharia, right? That is not the Islam of my mosque. That is not the Islam of my parents. That's not the Islam of my grandparents. We are just as confused as you folks are with ISIS and where they came from and what's happening. That is not Sharia. When you look at Sharia and you study Sharia and you study law, right? The question is, so do Muslims believe in Sharia? Well, yeah, of course. Sharia means law. In order for me to know how to interact with people, I need Sharia. But what do you mean by Sharia? Do you mean by Sharia going and killing innocent people? Then no, exclamation mark. That's not in our faith. Our faith does not teach to go and kill and bomb other people and because you're of another faith tradition to force you and force conversion. No, that's not Sharia. It's kind of like, another example I'll give you just to kind of drive the point home, right? Again, imagine if somebody, again, wants to come to this country. I'm giving this example because I hope it's somewhat relevant. Somebody wants to come to this country and they're asking me, hey Jamal, tell me more about what this country is all about. What is the Constitution all about? And the only thing I tell them is that they will kill you by capital punishment. And that's the only thing I tell this individual about the Constitution. Would that be a fair statement for me to give to this individual? No. There's so many other, the bread and butter and the beauty of the Constitution I'm not conveying. right? So again, we believe in a creator, not to go so long about it, we believe in a creator. We believe in order for us to understand the guidance, He's given the law, Shari'a, divine legislation, for us to understand. And it's to our benefit to understand this and to apply it in our life, right? Now, of course, even within Muslims, there are people that won't abide by Sharia, meaning, for example, we don't drink alcohol, yeah, as Muslims. Theoretically, we're not supposed to drink alcohol. Well, the reality is, are there some Muslims that drink alcohol? Yes. I can't force someone not to drink it. I can advise them. I can say, look, this is something you should try to stay away from. God says to stay away from it. There are many cons of this, many harmful effects, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, if they decide to drink alcohol, well, what can I do? And if that's with just Muslims, how about with people of other faith traditions? So there's no concept here of forcing people and so forth. So I hope that brings a little bit of clarification. But of course, if there's follow-up questions, most welcome. So again, we have a mic, so